Tony here with Too Much Outdoors. In this episode, me and Margot, we collect maple sap and we boil it down in our homemade evaporator and we make maple syrup right here. Well, it's early, but it's starting to look like it's turning into spring here in Ohio, so it's time to start collecting our sap. Me and Margot already came out to this property a couple weeks ago and we already started tapping some trees, getting ready, and then unfortunately we both got sick, so we haven't been out here for a little bit to check on our buckets. You can see here we're cleaning the road salt from under our truck and replacing it with mud. This is my daily driver. I've had it for probably 5-6 years and it's practically paid for itself. It has a lot of dents and rust, but I always seem to make it the right tool for the job, even if it's a little too small for what I need. Here at the property where I have permission to hunt out of, and the guy said it'd be okay if I tapped a couple of his trees, so we got a couple more maple trees we can tap. We didn't go crazy because we've been sick, but we're gonna collect our sap. This is our first bucket, and it's completely topped off. He's kind of sweet. We'll wait and come back for that one. Big deer poop. Oh man, our one maple sap bag fell off a carboy. Looks like it's all the way full too. So here's our tap. Supposed to be able to hook it on there in the bag. Zip ties on it, but it must have got too heavy. I believe these are silver maples. I believe sugar is the highest content of sugar. You'd drill a 5/16 hole and tap these. They're called spiles, right? And then you take a hose to some sort of container. And what we're doing basically is at night the trees get cold. When it warms up during the day, it makes the sap flow. Hello, Margot.
Hi, Tony.
What kind of trees do you have tapped here?
So you can tap any type of maple tree, from sugar to silver to red to black. So a sugar maple is going to have the highest concentration of sugar. It's going to have about 2% sugar in the sap that we collect.
Come on, tell us some history.
Some history?
Yeah.
What we have here, these little spiles, this isn't really going to hurt the tree at all. The amount that we drilled in here and the amount of sap that we're taking is basically like getting an IV. What we're taking out of the tree is pretty insignificant. Way back in the history of first collecting sap, people actually used to make giant cuts in these trees to try and get the sap to flow out of it. That did harm the trees, but if you think about how many trees there were in Ohio and in the United States before we came in and deforested, it's pretty insignificant. In fact, those trees were probably then taken and harvested and used for other purposes after they served their useful life cycle in collecting sap.
And those trees probably would have been dead by now anyways, right?
They probably would have been dead by now.
You can see how this stuff isn't completely clear. You can see that the foam that's coming on the top, that is probably the sugar content in there. Tastes pretty much like sweet water. It does have a little maple syrupy flavor to it. A smaller tree like this will get about like a gallon a day possibly. Since we lost our bag, we'll try to fix it, and we didn't bring enough buckets to replace the buckets we took. We're gonna try to fix this, so try 2 zip ties this time. So these are just made out of, I believe, 2-inch pieces of PVC, and then we cut 1/2-inch sections off couplings and slipped on there so the bag wouldn't slip off. I didn't think it was going to slip off, but it did. And then these are just test caps. You can pop those out and you'll be able to pour this into a bag. So with this tap, now that we're taking it off, not using the buckets, we're going to try this. Take the hoses off, and these kind of taps just kind of hang on there. Got 10 gallons, which will 10 gallons turn in probably close to a quart syrup, maybe not quite a quart. So pretty good, decent sized jar of syrup for pancakes and French toast and whatever you want to put on it. This is one of my favorite projects that me and Margot like to do. That's not going anywhere. This is our maple syrup evaporator. It's 2 steel 55-gallon drums that we screwed and welded together. A little stand, barrel stove kit for a door. We got a stainless pan we'll put on top. Chickens. We got 5 gallons there. We released our bird. It was free. Now we're gonna put our sap over here. Got 4 buckets full now. We're welding a valve on there so we can empty out our sap pan. So we're welding this nipple on there so we can put this shut-off valve, because last year we really struggled getting our sap out of the pan. We had to actually like tilt the whole pan and like ladle it out of there, so this will make it a lot easier. Yeah, probably good enough. If you're not familiar with this process, it's called TIG welding. It stands for tungsten inert gas, and that basically means we're using a tungsten electrode and argon gas for our shield, and we're just adding in this stainless steel filler rod. And there's our tungsten right there. You sharpen it up and it makes it weld a lot cleaner. I've been TIG welding for a few years now. I bought a welder at Harbor Freight and basically taught myself in my garage. As well, I've worked in a few food facilities and I've welded there as well. And here I'm putting that Teflon tape on the threads and putting the valve on. So hopefully it shouldn't leak on us. So we got our evaporator set up and filled it with sticks from the yard. Now we just got to get the chimney pipe on. Put this together. We're using a cheesecloth to kind of straighten out some of the big stuff. We got our sap in. It doesn't look like it's dripping from under there at all. Alright, we're gonna get our fire started. So here in probably 20 minutes or so, we'll probably be boiling or simmering.
It's about 9:30 right now. We just started boiling. We probably won't finish all of the sap that we have today. We've got about 40 gallons. Last year we started at about 5 a.m. and we boiled well after dark. We didn't start until a little bit later this year, so it's going to be a multi-day process for us, but it's going. We've got it started. It's now just sort of a waiting game and keeping the fire going.
Here I'm keeping the fire going, adding wood to it, and I need to split some wood. This tire is really helpful, so you don't have to keep bending over and grabbing the pieces that fly off. It makes it a lot easier. We just added a little blower from my shop vac and add that piece of pipe to get it some air, so it's really boiling quick now. As you wait for your sap to boil, you always have a lot of time waiting around, so I'm going to clean out this fire pit here. March 3rd, but I had to be the first one to mow in our neighborhood.
Tony, always on the move.
If you could share one thing with the world, what would it be?
World peace.
World peace. What about you, Margot? Here, look, Dad. Watch. That was. You remember Mr. Bean's holiday?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Share anything with the world, it would be if you want a hamburger, just go get a hamburger.
That was stupid.
Do you want a hamburger? So I'll go get us a hamburger right now.
Thing is just crazy boiling. We're boiling sap, we're making hamburgers. Some deer hamburgers. So we had to take a break from the burgers because we were kind of burning in our pan. So my dad's taking out some coals from the fire pit and we turned the air off because that's about all we have left in there. Still there, like in this section. I don't know. Maybe it's only about 5 gallons. I bet it's less than 5 gallons.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's less than 5, I bet.
We're burning in the back there a little. There's our burger for lunch. I put queso on mine. We're thinking we're about done. So we pulled out a bunch of the logs and kind of cooled it down. I don't know if it'll all fit in our pot yet or not. Our plan is we'll probably take it out of here and then finish it on just like a propane burner out here. So it's a little more controlled. We propped up the pan so it's all in that corner now.
Might spray yourself. Oh, there you go.
Might be better. That. Well, that works pretty good. So we had to switch to a second pot so we wouldn't overflow. Here's our wheel. Hose it off. What you finding, Margot?
A circle something.
Is it a washer or something?
I don't know.
Huh. It's like a lock ring or something. We're boiling. We're almost there. What do you think, Margot?
Well, it's 6:30, so we made better time than I thought we would.
So I just thermometered it and it was like almost 2:15, so I'm gonna bring it inside. We're gonna finish it on the stove inside so we can see good. Put it on high and watch it. Might have to pull it off like quick if it tries to boil over and stuff. 213.
So what are you trying to get it at?
219. So basically right now we're boiling this sap and trying to get it to 218, 219 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's when we'll pull it and it should be done. You can kind of tell by the thickness of it, but the temperature is the best way to gauge. Once you hit 219, you're pretty much syrup, and if you go too far, like 220, it'll start turning into candy and stuff, so you gotta really watch once you get close. And also that you don't boil the pot over and make a mess and lose all your syrup. Written 2:15. We've got our jars all clean. So we're ready to, once it cools down after this, we'll put it in the jars and can them. And they're just so hot that it'll seal the lids right. Here we go. 217. 2 more degrees. Oh, there's 218. There we go. 219. There you go. Right?
Yeah, it's good.
That line there. I like it real close. So this is what we ended up with. We ended up with probably about close to 3/4 of a gallon. There's 2 quarts here and 2 little cups for Margot is gonna give for bridesmaids. And then some to try now, so almost a pint, so we'll give it a try. It's like candy, liquid candy. It's so sweet.
That's so good.
Look at this stuff. Oh yeah. It's so delicious.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Maybe 11 out of 10.
So if this seems like something you might want to try, there's tons and tons of information out there on YouTube and their internet. I mean, it doesn't take a lot of money to get into it. It's just get a couple things to tap some trees. You don't have to do a crazy amount. You could even do it in a pot at home on the weekend. I mean, you could do it literally on your grill or something, and you might not end up with as much, but I mean, it's just kind of rewarding at the end to see what you end up with. So I mean, if you could collect 5 or 10 gallons, you could possibly get a whole quart jar right there. So we ended up with probably close to half gallon, a little more than half gallon. So alright, that's what we ended up with. That's about it for this episode. I just want to thank everybody for watching, and stay tuned for the next one. Click subscribe and like and comment. If you want to watch more videos just like this one, visit the Too Much Outdoors YouTube channel and subscribe to be notified for new videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.